Welcome to Minutes with Michael. I want to share a story with my audience. There's this young man called Robert. He's 21 years old and he lives in an inner city community. Robert works at a gas station as a pump attendant and he works very well. He's a team player, he shows manners, and he does his work very efficiently and shows excellent customer service. However, Robert's friends are persons of shady character. They have gotten themselves in trouble from time to time with the law, and at times they are considered suspects in particular illegal activities by persons within the community. However, these are Robert's friends, and Robert is loyal to them because Robert grew up with these guys from primary school. They went to high school together, and they've always had Robert back when he was in any form of trouble. So you can imagine the situation Robert is in. One evening when Robert was heading home and he came into the lane, he accidentally bunks into another young man and spilled his dinner. The young man said, "Brother, you just lick over my food and I have to pay for that." Robert was somewhat frightened and he said, "I don't have the money right now, I can't get the money another week." This young man proceeded to slap Robert across the face and then kick him on his leg. Robert ran home. When Robert was going home, he saw his friends and them say, "Yo, Robert, what go on? How you look so, bro?" And he told them what happened. His friends influenced him to get a knife to defend himself and said to him, "Here what? The same time I see that brother there again, just give him 2 stab and run off because I this him this year. When you come slap in your face after I did not wrong." Robert at the time thought it was a very good idea. He didn't think about the consequences of doing something of such. After all, his friends did it and they're still there and they seem to be doing fine. Before going to work the following morning, Robert bought a knife to defend himself and he went to work and he kept thinking about what had happened. His supervisor saw him and she was troubled because she don't know Robert to look like that. So she went over to Robert and asked him, "What is wrong?" Robert said, "I'm good man, I'm good soup, don't worry about it." But she prompted him and Robert decided to tell her what had happened. She decided to call Robert into her office and they had a long conversation about the whole incident. After the supervisor had the conversation with Robert, she was concerned and decided to speak with a person who she knew was a police officer. The police officer gave her some advice and asked her if she could reach out to Robert's mother. She was able to get in contact with Robert's mother and told her about the incident. She was familiar about the incident because she had heard some stuff, but she didn't get a lot of information with regards to it. And she had an idea of the young man who had possibly hurt her son. She went to the young man's parents and spoke to the young man's parents about it, and they addressed the young man. Going back to Robert. For days, Robert didn't see this young man. However, one day, Robert saw the young man, and the young man beckoned to Robert. "Oi!" Robert startled. Robert put his hand in his pocket and had a knife. Robert took 2 steps back, and the young man proceeded to move towards Robert. Robert was about to take up the knife, and then he remembered the conversation with his supervisor. In that split moment, the young man said, "I am very sorry. I shouldn't I've hit you. I shouldn't have kicked you. I apologize for my behavior." Robert was very surprised. He was startled. His hand was on the knife in his pocket. He said, "Okay," and he walked away. Later that night, Robert told his mom about the situation, and Robert's mother said to him, "When were you going to say this to me?" And he said, "Mommy, I don't want to really get you involved." Then she told him what happened and how the supervisor at his workplace reached out to her and how they were able to speak to the young man's parents and have the matter resolved. I decided to share this story with you because it will be starting a 3-part series called Making It Our Responsibility. And this week's topic under this series is called Making the Difference. Now, a lot of us are familiar with persons who work with us or might just be in our space. And these persons are not our friends at all. But I believe that we have a responsibility to try and see how best we can encourage or give these young persons some sort of advice, especially if we are their supervisors. I'm not telling you to impose on someone's space, but there are times you can look at an individual and know that something is wrong. And I don't think it's harmful for you to reach out and share an encouraging word with that person. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you are among a group of individuals who influences you to do bad things. But there's this one person at work who encourages you from time to time and help you to see the true value within yourself. This can help to make a huge difference in your life by transforming you from being a person who could have caused possible harm to others to being someone who can make a positive and meaningful impact on our society. Just think about it a bit. Let it sink in. Do you remember a life-changing discussion? Do you still communicate with that person or persons? Have you ever told those persons, thank you for making a positive change in your life? If you have not, you should. And you need to also try and make a positive difference in someone's life. Note, this will not work for everyone, but at least you tried, and it would have been another good deed done in your life. So in closing, I want to challenge my audience, who I believe are very responsible individuals, to help a young adult or a teenager who you believe is in need of guidance. You have no idea what type of future she or he has currently, and by sparing just a few minutes with them, you could change their lives for the better. We will continue this series next week, so stay safe, keep healthy, and live a life of love. If you enjoy the content on Minutes with Michael, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. For those on YouTube, please ensure you click on the notification bell so that you are notified when new minutes are released. Additionally, please suggest possible topics for discussion or for me to share my opinion. The statements made on Minutes with Michael are solely my beliefs on particular matters, and no one is compelled to follow my opinions or agree with them. Thank you for listening. Until we meet again on Minutes